Hey guys, well today I'm going to go ahead and try to get my bolts off, my studs off of my manifold. I'm going to try and I want to weld a couple of these nuts on there. There's my welder, just a regular wire welder, nothing special. And like I said, I got the manifold off on the 4.0, my Ford Explorer there. Like I said, I was very lucky. I am one lucky guy to get this manifold off, especially these bolts that go into the head without breaking any of them. Although, like I said, some of the studs are still in the head, but I can still reuse the studs and nuts. And this particular manifold does not have an exhaust port heating element, so this is actually plugged up, so that's pretty normal on this. So I want to go ahead and weld these nuts on here. And the idea is, once I get these welded on here, I'll put this up in my press, put some wood up there and squeeze this and put a socket on there. I want to take my little propane torch and heat this back part up and hopefully get these off of there. So let me go ahead and weld these on there and I'll be right back. Alright, there we go. Got all the welds in. Nothing fancy. Just enough to keep those nuts on there. Now we'll let that cool down a little bit, and I'll stick it up in a vise, and we'll see if we can break these things loose. One other quick note, if you don't have access to a welder like I have, you might be able to take this to a welding place and have them weld a couple nuts on for you and try to break it loose yourself, or you can maybe use a small pipe wrench and get a good bite on there. And if you have enough studs sticking out, maybe able to break it loose that way. But I think your best bet will probably be to weld a couple nuts on there and try to break those loose. Alright, we'll be back here in a second. We'll set this up and see what happens. Alright, I got my manifold set up in my press, and there's how I kind of set it up there. I got a metal plate on top and got some wood underneath of it, kind of squeezing it together so it doesn't go anywhere. And if you got a press, it's very handy. If you don't have a press, you may have to find alternative ways to maybe hold that manifold in place. This is what I'm doing right now, so let me go ahead and put the heat on it there, and we'll see if we can break these bolts loose. Alright, we'll put some heat on it there for about a couple minutes and see if we can break these babies loose. If not, if they break loose, I may have to buy a manifold. Alright, well that didn't work. I went ahead and tried to break one loose instead of recording it, but neither one of them come out. They just kind of broke right off into the manifold, which I was afraid of that. So what I'm going to do is get a tap. I'm going to go ahead and drill them out since there's not much left in there, and that's probably my only option right now. So let me go get some, find some good, decent drill bits and a punch. I'm going to punch the center of that so your bit doesn't walk around, and just slowly drill these out. And it's not much in there, maybe a quarter of an inch, so hopefully that'll be easy to get out. I don't want to damage my threads any. I want to get my new studs in there, so we'll try that here in a second. So just showing you there's other options. If you one fails, you can figure out something else, but I really thought these would come out, but at least my nuts stayed on there. Alright, there's my little punch marks. Now the challenge is to find some drill bits that'll go into this, because that is hard steel. I'm going to have to go out to the parts store and see what they got. But make sure you punch your bolt right in the center, that way your bit doesn't walk around and screw up your threads on the side. Alright, let me go find some bits. Alright everyone, I'm back. Finally got my stud in over there. I had actually, like I said, pressed that in. I cheated a little bit. I took a hammer and I put the nut on there and I got it in there. And tomorrow I'm going to kind of tack weld that in on the back side. It should be okay. It ain't going to come out. It's in there pretty good. But this side, when I went to take the drill bit went sideways and I couldn't get the nut out, so I just took my grinder and cut a slice in the side of it and knocked it out with the chisel. And actually, if you look closely, if you can see in there, there's actually a little bit of threads in there on that manifold for that bolt to grip. So those bolts were not pressed in, they were actually screwed in, but man were they a bitch to get out. And I went through 3 drill bits on that one there, and I wasn't going to buy any more drill bits. But
tomorrow I'm going to weld that up there real quick, and this is all done, and I've already got it set up on my exhaust where it bolts on pretty easy. So if you're going to do this job, just beware. It is a you can get yourself into some trouble. But that's how I did mine. What I probably should have done to begin with was tuck the grinder and cut a slice out of both sides and just knock that stud out, what was left of it. Then you would still have some threads there to screw that nut in. But you can use regular bolts. You know, you don't have to use a stud I got off of Ford. I just got those studs because I thought this job was going to be a lot easier, but it turned out, like I said, it was a little harder. So that's it. Good luck, guys, on your exhaust. Hopefully you won't have the problems I had, but like I said, I wasn't close enough to a junkyard, and I wasn't going to wait a week to get one, so it took me about 4 hours, believe it or not, to take care of all this. Time I went and got drill bits and all that good stuff. But it's done. Now I'm going to start putting the transmission together, and maybe I'll make a video on that real quick on my Ford Explorer 5R, 55S, and W. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and good luck, guys. Hopefully you won't end up into the situation like I did.